Yay, everybody! We finally solved the hard puzzle. Why are you shaking your head? We solved the hard puzzle.
We're gonna begin. How dare you?
How dare I what? What are you talking about? I
How
can't hear you.
dare
I need to
you
put my
show up?
headphones.
You show up out of nowhere, your hair all did, you're looking nice. Is that makeup I see? You're looking all nice, and you didn't tell me. She didn't tell me. I was sitting here waiting. I was doing a little crossword, and I looked down, and she sits down in the little like mini camera over there, and she's got her hair done, and I'm like, I can see the makeup from here. I was in my bonnet. I had to go and put my hair up so I didn't look so busted. I was in my bonnet.
You look cute in your bonnet.
Rude. Honestly, rude.
You
Not
cute
something
in
a
your
girl's
bonnet.
girl would do.
What are you talking about?
You could have warned me we were looking good.
Warned you about what?
That we were looking good today.
I rolled out of bed and came in here like I do every Wednesday.
Rude.
I rolled out of bed at 9:30.
Rude.
And came in here like I do every Wednesday. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shame.
This is what I always look like.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Making me look like a fool. I cannot hear you. You are muted.
I cannot be muted.
You're not muted anymore. Maybe your thing was trying to adjust.
Okay. Probably. It was just. Let's take this banner off.
You take the banner off. I'll switch the music.
Okay. Here we are. Okay. Thank you, Ronald and Junie. That's so nice.
You didn't even make your nasty peanut butter and jelly oatmeal. Oh my gosh, I got room service. Thank you.
Must be nice. Corn dogs. That sounds yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and get this started, and we can talk about my hair and other things.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna sit my corn dogs so my dog doesn't get them.
We ready?
Sure.
Hello, and welcome to the Wednesday morning coffee Klatsch. I am one of your presenters, Dani, the braided Betty, and this is my partner in crime,
Artemis, the busted bat.
That's not true. If you have never been here before, we talk about everything and nothing, mostly with some yarn thrown in. We are here to be your audio ambiance. We are here to be your background sound. We are here to keep you company while you are wrapping presents, while you are running around with the little ones underfoot, while you are straightening up that extra bedroom for the relatives that are coming for the holidays. And, if you are considering mixing gelatin for your chicken sandwiches, I would suggest you put a halt to that. We can find some better recipes for you. And that last bit was not my breakfast. That last bit comes from a recipe from the White Lily Flour Cookbook of 1931 called Molded Chicken Sandwich. It is gelatin and spices and chopped chicken all mixed together with
Somebody needs to
some,
take gelatin away from the 40s.
and
They got with it too much.
I think it was some sour cream, and then you put it in the fridge till it gets hard, and then you slice it and put it on bread.
Exactly, Ronald. Hard pass.
Buttered bread, of course, because up until the 80s, butter always went on your sandwich. I don't care what kind of sandwich you had. I'm finding from reading these cookbooks that you always buttered your bread. Always. And I've started buttering my bread, and it's probably not healthy, but it does add something to the sandwich.
It
Even
adds
if you're just
butter.
making a, even if you, but I mean, it adds flavor to the sandwich. Even if you're just making a ham and cheese sandwich and throwing some mustard on it, the butter still helps. But so, what's been going on with you, my lovely?
No. Uno reverse. Please explain your hair. When did you get your hair done?
We need to mention our food first. You have corn dogs for your room service.
Y'all see the game she's playing?
I have an apple and some wafers that your father thought was too sweet, but I think they're yummy.
I love those wafers.
Because I did not have the energy to heat up my bacon and egg croissant from the freezer. And I'm having the last of the peppermint mocha creamer in my mushroom coffee.
So happy for you. I'm drinking my normal Starbucks coffee. Now explain.
Explain what?
Your hair, ma'am.
It's not that much to explain. There is a technique going around on
Oh, you did
started by
the thing.
this creator. Did I show that on stream?
I don't think it was on stream. I think you and I were just talking about it. Maybe you may have showed it on stream.
There's a creator. Her name is Mara Campo, I believe correctly, and she posted it quickly to Instagram. But where I saw it was Mary Kay Bella, who I watch her hair videos on YouTube, and she went through it quickly, and I thought, oh, I could do this. Well, turns out I can't do it, but your sister helped me. Technically, instead of having to do the individual braids, you do a few braids and
then just like loop it through.
And loop. You use your braids like a clothesline and put the pre-looped store-bought hair on the clothesline like that, and then you just tie it back like this and spread the braids out. So I did my hair up to here. Okay. But then the top part, to make it look natural, you're supposed to do individuals.
Yeah.
And take the latch hook and like crochet them in under your hair. And I could not do I tried it and I couldn't do the latch hook bit. Not that it's difficult. I thought I could do it when I was watching the video.
Every time I do latch hook, I end up pulling out hair and it hurts.
Well, I'm glad that it wasn't just me. My problem was that since I don't really have feeling in my fingertips, if I can't see
feel the hair.
I can't. Well, the doing the back part, sliding it on, that wasn't so bad. But with the latch hook, you have to kind of go under your hair, grab the pre-looped hair here, make sure that little latch thing is closed, and then pull it through. And I could not feel the little latch. That does not work if
you cannot feel the things.
And it just was not working for me. And I couldn't see it well enough because it's tiny that I couldn't see it well enough to. So
it
I
looks
just
good. Can you take your headphones off and show like the top of your hair, if you don't mind?
Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it looks good enough to get by. Let's put it that way.
I mean, on camera it looks good.
I can't hear you, so.
You look good. Can you put your head down?
Well, I was gonna embiggen it, but okay. There you go.
and begin. Oh, it looks good. I think it looks good. And the back. And there goes her headphones. I like the color that she chose. Exactly, Ronald. While she's putting her headphones back on. It looks very good.
Thank you, Ronald. Thank you, Maya. Your sister Sydney said the same thing. Your sister, who's still trying to convince me to get locks, she said the same thing. Honestly,
I think about getting locks periodically, but it seems like even more hassle to take care of than my natural hair.
Well, my thing is that I will want a different hairstyle in a week,
Mm-hmm.
and by then my hair's locked up and I've had to shave it off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So oh, speaking of fairy hair, Junie, when I was buying the hair, the other thing that convinced, because I've been wanting to try that technique, and I was going to buy the hair anyway, but then I was like, I had just washed my hair on Sunday, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to put twists in it? And I'm going to do this? And your sister was just here, because she had gone to Charlotte and was passing through on the way back. She was just here talking about locks. And I'm like, what am I going to do with my hair? What am I going to do with my hair? And then I just sat down and was looking to see, can I get some hair here from Amazon quickly enough to get it done before I go to Aunt Terry's on Saturday? And
so you've been like this since what, like Friday?
No, because even after I bought the hair on Sunday and it came on Monday because it came overnight.
Nice.
So it was sitting on my porch. I mean, I ordered it like at 10 o'clock at night, and it was sitting on my porch at 9 o'clock in the morning before your father went to work.
That's the Amazon service.
But the hair was on sale for like $14.
Ooh.
This particular color, because the other colors, I was going to get the locks, but I don't like the ultra blonde at the very bottom.
That's what I was saying. When you had your headphones off, I was saying I like the color. It feels very much like you. It's a very good color for you.
Yeah, I didn't like the ultra blonde, and I wanted to get the gray, but you know, the aunties that we went on vacation with, who actually are not old enough to be my aunties, they're more because they're only within 5 to 10 years of my own age, but they have naturally beautiful silver hair.
Silver.
And if I bought that wig, I would look ridiculous. So I changed my mind on getting the silver. So this hair, I feel like, is the closest to looking like it could have come out of my head.
It looks good.
So, well, thank you. But since I had to recruit your sister to do the top part, I think from now on I'm glad I tried the thing because I was curious about it, and I'm the kind of person where if I see some sort of craft, because to me this is like another craft.
Yeah.
But if I see some sort of craft technique, then it gets stuck in my head till I try it. Like I was with the all-in-one yarn. It just gets stuck in my head till I try it. And I just need to buy one ball and try it, and I'm good. So that's how this was. I tried it. I understand that I don't have the dexterity to do this part anymore. But I still have enough dexterity in my hand to do twists. So I think I might just do twists
around it. Yeah.
Do twists with not with this pre-looped hair, but with just buy extra loose hair and
have fun. I've got that loose hair that Sydney gave me from like the few times that she did her hair, and she just had like extra bundles, whatever. So I've got a bunch of like extra bundles that stay directly under my table right here. And the one time, I don't remember I think I wore them on live stream at least once, but it would have been last apartment, I think 2 years ago, when around the time for my birthday, I did those big pink like braids. You remember I'm talking about those two big pink braids? I had so much tangled hair. There was So much tangled hair. What I did later on use the hair that Sydney gave me and did two like more natural, like brown and blonde braids, and those worked out a little bit better. But I don't know how the girlies are using this loose hair and it's not just matted everywhere. It is a technique that I have not mastered.
Yeah, I think I have like because I've done yarn braids for you guys once or twice back when you were children. And so I think in my head, I think I can still do that. I think I'm going to try to do it and then realize, just like with this today, I'm going to realize, oh no, I don't have the dexterity to do this anymore. I may be overestimating what I can still do, but I'm going to give it a try but this I'm going to keep for at least a week or so. But I had a braid fall out this morning when I took my bonnet out, so we'll see.
Oh no!
We'll see how long this lasts. It may not last very long.
Yeah, because if I were you, I would be trying to stretch that for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did it so that I could go to Terry's, and because last time we went to Terry's, we did not go anywhere. We did not do anything, so I just went with my hair looking scrubby. But I don't really want to do that again. But Junie was talking about fairy hair. When I was buying this hair, they had some hair that had tinsel all in it, and braids with tinsel. Because you see, like, these braids have I guess this is supposed to be like the boho style where you have
where it's got the loose pieces,
and then you have the loose pieces. Well, that had, instead of the loose pieces, it had some loose pieces, but then it also had a bunch of tinsel. And I was like, I don't know if I can rock that. I'm too old for that.
You say that. Maybe it's just because I live in the mountains. Because I will have old ladies that come into Party Store all the time, and they'll have like their silver hair, and then they'll have like white or silver like pieces of fairy hair kind of woven in, and it looks really good because it's not like, they don't go very, like, especially the older ladies, they don't go very heavy handed with it. It'll just be a few strands here and there that like adds a little shine every once in a while, because a lot of the older ladies have fairy hair up here.
Well, I guess if that's what you want to do, I don't know. Like I was telling your sister, I feel like there are some styles that I don't knock anybody else for doing whatever they want to do, but I still feel like there are some styles that don't look as good on older people. And it has nothing to do with, oh, you're old, you shouldn't do that. It's just,
it doesn't give the same effect as when you're young.
Yeah. Like for instance, I have a wig that I wear that is almost black, but I don't wear that one very often because I feel like now that my face, I don't feel like looking at my face right now, it's not terribly wrinkly. But I feel like when I wear the black wig, you can see whatever few wrinkles I've got all of a sudden decide to jump out and say, here I am. And the fact that I don't wear makeup, the black wig makes my face look
washed out.
Yeah, it makes my face look very washed out. So okay, any other life updates we got going on besides my hair? That's enough. I'm sure Ronald is just fascinated about how to do black girl hair. So
I feel like Ronald is unironically fascinated with how to do black girl hair. I feel like he absolutely was listening to this conversation. I put a lot of stuff. Oh, okay. We're going to circle back to picture this time last week. I had just done the first Friday weekend markets with the Christmas parade. Friday was wonderful. I sold 2 of my extra long hats, $40 a piece. I sold several hats off of my table. I sold a couple stuffed animals. It is stuff out of my $5 bucket. It's great. Saturday, not selling as much crochet, but I get a line of kids wanting to do face paint. There is this one family that seems to just be following the circuit of markets that I do at the, like in the Weaverville, Mars Hill area, because we used to see them in Mars Hill, and then they started showing up at the Weaverville market, and it was fully enough that like I was sitting between my friend Lori and my friend Midge, who Midge is moving. So sad. We're going to miss her. But we were sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear kids screaming and chittering and like just screaming off in the distance. And Lori looks over and she's like, "You know who that is, right?" And I'm like, no. There's this woman who has somewhere between 3 to 5 kids. We're not sure which ones are hers, but like some amount of those children shows up with her every time. I think they're all hers. And there's another woman who shows up with her who also has like a baby child and is currently pregnant. And they let those children like just go off, like full, like free range to the extreme. Like they are running up and down the road. They are screaming, and they all decide to get face paint.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. So like and the thing is, I'm like, oh, my nose is so itchy. Because she does not watch her children. For example, we were at the Weaverville market.
Wait a minute.
She shows up.
She does not watch her children, or she does not wash her children?
Both.
Oh no.
Both. We will circle back. At the Weaverville market, she was going around shopping, and she's very much the like, if she were in a movie, she would be the fun, whimsical person. In real life, please pay attention to your children. Because she's like, "Oh, do you think maybe we could get some of these eggs?" And, "Oh, I don't know, because I'm really trying
Manic Pixie Dream Mom?
Yes, but like the worst way. So she's off conversating with the tea guy, and her children are running back and forth right in front of the guy who sells pottery. And so I had to walk over to her, and I was so polite, and I was like, because I didn't want to embarrass her or anything. So I walk over, tap her on the shoulder, wait till she turns to me, and I like lower my voice, and I'm like, "I am so sorry, but your kids are like running back and forth right in front of the pottery, and if they knock something down, you're gonna have to pay for it. I just don't want you to have to like deal with any of that. If you could kind of keep them with you." And she's like, "Oh, I am so sorry, Charlene, Shibane." They have names that are like very earthy, like Tara, please, Tara. And she's saying it just like that. Like, grab your child. Like that, like, I'm not saying harm your child. I'm not saying hit your child. There are all these different conversations about beating your child or whooping your child or whatever. There are all those conversations. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying just grab and train your child.
You can count on one hand the times that your father spanked you, but I can tell you what, if you were running around that market like that, he would have snatched you up by your collar.
Exactly. He didn't allow it to happen, because I remember very vividly a moment when we were at Walmart and I was going full wild, and he goes to the dog section. I'm like, "Dog stuff," and he grabs a collar and a leash, whoop, right around my wrist, and I've got a dog leash around my wrist, so I'm not going anywhere. And then we go to check out, and he's like, adventure. "I don't need to buy this."
I missed that adventure.
I remember so vividly, because I see all of these product things about like the kid leashes where it's like a vest and a backpack, and I'm like, I remember very specifically my father grabbing a dog leash, putting it on my wrist, and then saying, "We don't need to buy this," and putting it back when we were ready to leave the store. But you don't I'm not, like I'm saying, you don't need to, I'm not saying hit, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying restrain. That is part of being an adult who has spawned. Restrain your child. Stop them from doing it. Or
keep them home, because my answer was to keep y'all home.
Or keep them at home. You don't have to bring them literally everywhere.
I didn't let y'all go. I think y'all were well behaved in public just because y'all were happy to be out. And that sounds like I had y'all locked in the basement. You had free run of the house. You can do whatever you want to in the house and in the backyard, but when you leave,
don't go acting a fool. And there were times back at the Mars Hill market, back when I was doing that market, where they would show up. She would have a baby in a stroller, and she's off at a booth over here There's like the aisles of the booths. She's off in a booth over here. The baby in the stroller is over here. And one of the other children, who is like 7 years old, is watching the baby in the stroller. And I'm like, you need to, and they're all walking around barefoot.
To be fair, my mother left me sitting with one of my younger siblings in the mall near the fountain while she went off to a store. So I remember that.
And it was so frustrating. So circle back, we're fast forwarding again to the future where we are at this market and I'm having to face paint all of the children. So there's her and there's the other lady who, do they live together? Are they sisters? Do they what is the connection? I don't know, but they very frequently show up at the market together, so much that we think that they might live together. And we never see the father. There's the main lady and then there's the secondary lady who is currently pregnant. We never see the father of any of these children. It is always just these two ladies. We don't know what's going on, but more children just keep appearing, because I remember back 2-3 years ago, there were only 3 children and now there were somewhere between 5. I don't know. And part of the problem is
Ronald, I will have
the 1930s.
I will have you know that was the late 1970s, sir.
Not the 30s where you let your children run wild, latchkey. But all of these children, and we never see the father, and we don't know exactly whose children are whose, because all of the children that come specifically with the one main lady, the manic pixie lady, they even have a father? Because it looks like she asexually reproduced. All of those babies look exactly like her. Because she has very strong eyebrows. As the old folks say, it looks like she spit them out. Yes, very much so. Every single one of them look just like her. And then, so they come and they sit down, and I confirm with the parents, because I've had before where kids oh yeah, I want to get a face paint. And I'm did your parents say yes? Yes, they did. Okay, I paid it. I didn't tell you could paint my child's face. I'm not paying you. Blah blah blah. So I confirm with the parents. So I confirm with her, and she's like, yes, we'll go ahead and do it. So I do 2 of the kids. And then, I do 3 of the kids, and they all want the same unicorn design. I'm okay, we're all matchy, good, cute sisters. And then the youngest one was originally I want a butterfly. And then she's looking at my sign, because I've got my sign in my little 6 example designs, and she's pointing at all of them. And so the mom comes over and she's like, I was actually really hoping that she could do the $5 design. And I'm like, okay, sweetie, can we do the butterfly? She's like, no, I want the unicorn. She's like, well, is there a way that we could do the unicorn, but make it a $5 design or something, blah, blah, blah. Circling back, and this is not I'm trying not to say this in a way that feels very, I don't know. I'm not trying to say this in a way, but she, you'll understand when I start saying actual words. At all of the markets that she comes to, she does use food stamps, which lots of people use food stamps, especially right now after the hurricane. Lots of people use food stamps. That's not a thing. But she's also the kind of person that will kind of haggle and kind of oh, I wish that I could get this, but I don't have the money for this. But I almost make you feel bad in a way, so that you want to cut a deal with her. And so I'm
she'll guilt trip you into it.
Yes.
If you got the children there, so you feel bad because.
Yes. And so I'm I'll figure out a way to do it. We'll do it. So I just do the unicorn, but a lot smaller, less details. So we do a $5 unicorn. It's fine. Mm-hmm. So we're doing that. All the while, her kids are so I've got my little face paint table, which is the folding table that Papa got me for Christmas 4 years ago. I've got my little face paint table, and the kids are running back and forth right by my table. It was several years ago. But all the kids are running back and forth by my face paint table, and if they keep bumping into it. They haven't knocked anything over yet, but they keep bumping into it. And if they knock over that table, that's paintbrushes, paint, water, everything, everywhere, all on the floor, and we're outside, so that's out in the dirty street that all of my stuff is. And so I'm gonna have to rewash all of my brushes. So I'm you need to stop. And so finally, my booth mate Midge, who's beside me, she moves one of, because she sells soap, and so she's got coolers to keep the soap from melting and stuff. So she moves one of her coolers and blocks the pathway. She's like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Because they were also like brushing up against all of her stuff too. And I'm looking at the mom, and the mom is off having a conversation. And and while I'm painting on the faces, I tune into one of her conversations. And she's like, I mean, I want to go down to the river, and I like to go down to the river every day because I don't like coming out into the city because I can feel all of the dirt and grit and feel it on me. And I go down to the river, but lately I go down to the river and there's nothing there anymore. And I'm like, what? What? And she's saying
Hurricane Helene washed all her river spirits away.
And she's saying that she feels all of the dirt and grit from the city. She is dirty. Like, not just like, oh, we just went outside and I spilled some food on me, and like she had it like that day that she was out, she had a huge stain on the back of her dress that looked like she sat in something, pissed herself, something. All the kids, physical dirt all upon them, as if they had not had a bath in about a week. And the littlest one that I had to do the little unicorn for, I keep makeup wipes in my thing in case a kid was just eating some Cheetos or something, and I need or in case I mess up a line and I need to wipe off a line. I had to get one of my makeup wipes. She had snot going from her nose all the way up here and all the way up here. Both sides almost to her heel. All over her face. So I had to clean this child off before I could face paint her.
Oh, gross.
And like, who knows how long it had been there. And the other kids were pretty equally dirty. And it's just, ugh. And so I finally paint all of her kids. And then there's another kid. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, look at you. I'm like, is that all of your siblings? They're crowding all around. No one's making a straight line because no parent is corralling them. And so I'm like, is that all of your siblings? And they're like, no, what about my sister? I look and I'm like, do you two have the same grown-up? And she's like, no, my grown-up is that one, pointing to the other lady that's always with them. And I'm like, so do these children know who their siblings are? Like, we have a situation of you're not teaching these children to contain themselves, not teaching them that they can't go around messing with stuff, not teaching them like personal space.
They're adopting play sisters.
Exactly. And like, play sisters is one thing, but it seemed like she really did not know. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, I finish up the main ladies, like kids or whatever. And then I look to her trying to get my payment. By this point, because those kids have all corralled around me, like, thank you to them, because they did get their face painted. They did pay for it. And they did like create some buzz so that other kids lined up. So I have a line. I've got at least 6 other sets of kids and parents behind them. And so I look over, I'm like, okay, you go ahead and hop up. I tell the next kid to sit down, and I'm like keeping an eye out for the mom. And luckily Midge was also helping me keep an eye out because she looked like she was about to disappear into the crowd.
Without paying you.
Yes. It looked like she was about to disappear into the crowd. And then she saw that both of us had eyes on her. Like, I'm painting another child, but we both have eyes on her. And I'm like kind of keeping up a conversation with her of like, do you want to pay cash or card? Paint. Okay, well, we can do Cash App or we can do card. The card, either one will work. Paint. No, let's go ahead and do the card since the Cash App is having troubles. Paint. Like, keeping up a verbal conversation with her. So 1, she knows I'm still paying attention to the fact that she's there. 2, all the other parents in line are paying attention to the fact that I know that she's still there, and she has not paid me. And so she finally like gets out her card, and we're able to do the transaction and everything. But she's still like back and forth of like, oh, well, should I do the card or should I do the Cash App? And like, what's better for you? And like, oh, I don't know what's better for me. And I don't know, blah, blah, like back and forth. And I'm like, we can't. We can't. It was just a very frustrating experience. And then after all of that, so that's the day of the Christmas parade. So I paint those children. We hear them. I'm sitting like back to the sidewalk because that's where the market's set up. We're set up in the street and our backs are to the sidewalk. They are running back and forth behind me. The mom is like all the way down here. The children are running back and forth behind me. And I'm like, I'm not wishing anything bad on these children. I hope that these children grow up happy and safe and get the therapy that they definitely are going to need. It would have been so easy because we are in a huge crowd of people getting ready for this parade. It would have been so easy for someone to snatch up one or all of these children because she is not watching them at all. She is all the way
and
somewhere else.
This is ugly, but somebody probably would have snatched them up and bathed them and
Like snatch them up, bathe them, put them back. Like just a helpful snatching. Like,
oh Lord.
it was so chaos. Those it's every time they show up, because you can hear them. Like I started this story with, you can hear them because they start children screaming first. You can hear them, and like we'll see them like at markets. They'll be rolling around on the floor, picking up food off the floor and eating it, like all kinds of. And I'm like,
oh no,
we have to corral these children.
Oh no,
we have to corral these children. So that was my free range parenting story. Sorry that it got so in depth. I just there was a lot of information that needed to go into what happened that day.
Oh my goodness.
The other thing that happened, because I have several life updates. I don't know what was going on with
keep going.
So the other thing that happened, what day was this? What day is today? Today is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Monday, I go to work. Was it Monday or was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. Sunday. I'm supposed to be there at 9 in the morning. I am notoriously late to work if I have to be there in the morning because I'm not good at getting up in the morning. I've had this conversation with my boss. She put me on second shift when she could, but she can no longer put me on second shift because we don't have the people for it. So she puts me on first shift, and we're working on getting me back onto second shift where I can show up more consistently on time because I'm awake. So Sunday, I get up and she sent we're having issues with the schedule. And so she has to send a picture with the schedule into our text chain. And so I'm like, I can't quite tell if that says 8 or if that says 9 o'clock. So I'll just show up. I'll plan for 8, which means I'll be there at 9. And then I'll be there before the store opens at 10. Everything will be good. So I planned for 8. I showed up at 9, at 9 on the dot, which is when I was scheduled. So I am on time for the first time in weeks. I am on time in the morning, 9 a.m. I go and I'm like, oh, the store looks a little dark. Okay. I get out of my car. It's cold, carrying all my little bags and stuff and crochet and holding my coffee. I walk up to the door. It doesn't look like the lights are on. I'm like, well, maybe they kept them dim. Maybe they're whatever. And so I call store manager A, who is, I don't want to out anybody. Because I don't know I'm still not sure how this story is resolving. I call store manager A, straight to voicemail. I try again, straight to voicemail. I text, get nothing for about 10 minutes. And so I call our store manager, the full store manager, because there's the shift manager and then there's the full store manager. So I called the shift manager who was supposed to be opening with me. No response. I called the store manager and I'm like, hey, so I just want to make sure I didn't mess anything up. Looking at the schedule that you sent, I'm supposed to be here at 9, right? And she's like, yeah, look at you on time. And I'm like, yeah, store manager A is not here. She is not answering her phone. The door is locked. The lights are off. And she's like, oh no. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I wasn't here the last couple of days. Was somebody else supposed to take that shift? And she's like, no, she's supposed to be there. And currently store manager B is in Tennessee and I am in South Carolina. We only have three managers in the store. So she's like, just keep calling her, keep me updated, keep texting her, keep me updated, and I'll have to call district manager. And I'm like, okay. So I sit in my car, I'm waiting. I text her a couple more times. I text her bestie who also works at the store, don't hear anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm already awake. Let me swing down to McDonald's, get myself some cheeky little McGriddles and figure out what's going on. So I go get my food. I come back, I'm sitting in the parking lot. And I still have not heard anything. So finally, I get a call from the full store manager. I'm just gonna call her store manager C, so we're not mixing this up. So I get a call from store manager C, and she's like, "Yeah, we still have not gotten a hold of her. I had to call district manager. District manager was on vacation. She said, sorry, I can't do anything about this. You need to call other district manager." So she called the other district manager, and essentially, our store manager C, had to drive up from South Carolina.
Oh no!
To open the store. Our store was supposed to be open at 10. She calls me and lets me know this at 9:50. And so she's like, just go, because she knows that we both live right around the corner. So she's like, just go back to your house, hang out. I'll be back around noon. I'll call you when I'm leaving my house. And I'm like, okay. So because she was in South Carolina watching her son and daughter-in-law's dogs while they were like doing a thing. And so she had to like walk the dogs again, put them in the kennel, drive all the way back, change clothes, walk her own dog, and like put him in the kennel, and then get to the store to open the store. So we did not open the store until 1:00.
Oh no.
Yes, and it sounds like store manager A and store manager B, the only man who works at our store currently, who was in Tennessee, they got into an argument because store manager B gets paid more than basically everybody in the store. Plus, he has like the benefits and stuff because he like there are only 2 positions in our store. There used to be like 4 positions in our store that would get certain pay, get benefits, and all this stuff. But because we're a smaller store, when Party Store restructured, they got rid of those other 2 positions. So the only 2 positions that get benefits and all of that are store manager C, who had to drive from South Carolina, and store manager B, who notoriously does like he takes a lot of days off. He will like he has already like she checked store manager C checked the calendar just yesterday. He has already put in days off up through like March.
Oh no.
Yes, like not every day obviously, but like he has put in days off up through March. And like full weekends and stuff like that. He just took his kids to Disneyland.
Okay. Sidebar. We're not doing yarn yet, but I remember my hack of like putting the little markers so that I don't lose the end and that I don't make a mess. Well, it didn't help in this case because I found the marker in the middle of the mess.
It betrayed you. It betrayed
go ahead.
You. I feel like I'm living an episode of Normal Gossip right now. So he notoriously takes a lot of days off. He also will like spends a lot of time in the office. He will leave for an hour mid-shift to go get food and then eats the food in his car and then comes back into the store where none of the rest of us really take breaks. Like we will eat our food standing at the counter.
Okay, I got to do another sidebar right quick. When you were mentioning that reminded me of your father worked in mills all during high school, worked at a mill all during high school, but most of his working life was at fast food restaurants and as you know, and he like shift manager and stuff like that. And so he would come and go whenever he wanted. He would, you know, take his lunch whenever he felt like it and take more than an hour and all this other stuff. His first job at Sprint, you know, RIP Sprint, but that was his first time ever doing an office job. And let me tell you how confused he was about having to be back from lunch on time, having to be in at a certain time, having to leave at a certain time, having to be, because like you work fast food and it's like sometimes you have to work over, sometimes at the last minute they call you in early, you know, and him being in management for so long, he would, you know, take his lunches whenever and go to the doctor and do this and that. He was confused. I was like, yep, that's what it's like for the rest of us. Because all I've ever done outside of a brief stint in the Army, all I've ever done was office work. So yeah, that's what it's like, sir.
Yeah. So that's basically what store manager B does. And it like, if that's what all of the managers did, that'd be one thing, but all of the managers don't do that. All of the managers don't just like ask for all the days off and like, and all the other managers have to fill in when store manager B takes all these days off and stuff. So I can understand like store manager B does do work though. Store manager B does get work done. How much comparatively, I can't say because I'm not a manager. I don't see everything they need to do. But I could see just from that stuff how one might be upset that store manager B is getting paid more than store manager A, and it feels like store manager B is never there. So store manager B asked store manager C, the full store manager, asked her if he could start having Sundays off for like personal reasons. And store manager C is like, well, and he's like, I thought that would be the best day because it's the shortest day that anyone would have to work to cover me. And to make up for it, I will close every Friday, which Fridays are the days that we close the latest. Instead of closing at 8, we close at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So he is taking that extra day away from somebody else having to close on that weekend day. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay. So she lets store manager A hears about this. And then while store manager C is off in South Carolina and store manager C is is leaving to South Carolina, I think. Store manager B is already in Tennessee with his family doing whatever. And store manager A texts store manager B and is like, thanks a lot. Now I have to work every Sunday, which is not the case because store manager A and store manager C are going to be alternating. But store manager A texts this to store manager B, and store manager B is like, I don't think that's what's going to be going on. But store manager A has already gotten so pissed off and is like, they are going back and forth and going it's from store manager's A perspective, they are going back and forth and going at it. From someone who has read the text messages perspective, store manager A is going off and store manager B is saying, I don't want to fight about this. Like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight about this. But I, luckily, because somebody knows I love drama, got to hear some of the text messages. And store manager A was going in and saying like, I'm the backbone of this store, and I like, what are y'all like? Y'all wouldn't be able to do anything without me, and you like never do anything. And if corporate could see how this store was running, it would get shut down. Which is not only a dig at store manager B, saying that he's never there, but also a dig at everybody else at the store. Exactly, a dig at everybody, including store manager C, who is the overall store manager. So she's saying like, you don't run the store correctly. And so it's also all that. But so store manager C comes up to drives up from South Carolina on Sunday. It is now Wednesday. And as far as I know, we have not heard from store manager A. No one has gotten in contact with her. She did have 2 days off. So she was supposed to be there Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday she was supposed to have those days off. Or maybe it happened Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday she was supposed to have those days off, I think. It was some sort of order, but she basically didn't show up for one shift and then had the next 2 days off. So I don't know how things are going. That is what's going on. So we'll see. But other sidebar, I finished all of my application stuff. So as soon as my background check goes through, I will be a manager.
Yay.
I'm going to be a key holder.
Yay. So you won't get locked out anymore, at least.
No, yeah. That's what store manager C was saying. She's like, if you had finished your application before, you would have had a key. And I'm like, sorry. So that was that. But the one day I show up on time, nobody's there, I'm never showing up on time again. That is all I have to say about that.
That's not what that means, man.
That is the lesson that I have learned from this.
That's not what that means.
So the other stuff that happened, this is more work stuff, but there's a lady who showed up. Again, I work at a party store. There's a lady who showed up or placed an order like last week sometime when I wasn't there. Placed an order for about 100 balloons. It was like 110 balloons, all air filled, because she was going to do a balloon arch. It costs $40 to buy a balloon pump, like an electric balloon pump that blows them up so fast. She spent $80 for us to blow up these balloons for her, which is a pain in my butt because air filling balloons is like, just the way that it's set up is just not as easy to do as helium filled balloons. Like I had where the pump is plugged up is an awkward place. And then she had a bunch of 5-inch balloons because when you're doing a balloon arch, you have to have the little filler balloons. So the 5-inch balloons don't even fill up on the pump. So you have to use a hand pump to fill all of those up. So I had 20 5-inch balloons that I had hand pump and fill up. So I did all that. We put them in balloon bags. We had 7.5 balloon bags for this lady to pick up. She calls the next day and I look at store manager C in her face and I say, I bet you anything She's going to find out how big these balloons are now that they're all inflated. And she's going to say it's not going to fit in her car. I bet you anything, because people do that all the time. They're like, yes, give me 57 balloons. And I'm like, okay, are you sure that'll fit? And they're like, yes. And then we inflate all 57 balloons. They're like, however am I to fit this in your car? And I'm like, that's something you should have thought about, Cheryl. Anyway, so she calls the next day and is like, how much is it? It's $7. I don't think that I'll be able to fit that. And so she changes her mind, gets 9 helium balloons inflated on weight. So she gets 3 bundles of 3 helium balloons inflated on weight. So she pays another 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, like another $30. Another $30 to get these helium balloons, and decides that she just does not want the balloons for the balloon arch. And she does not ask for a refund. She's like, do you think somebody will like want these balloons? Well, like if I bring the balloon arch kit, do you think somebody will take these balloons? And we're like, probably, but I mean, we can try to find somebody to give them away to. She's like, okay, I'll drop the kit off and then somebody else will be picking up the helium balloons. Does not ask for a refund whatsoever. She's just hopeful that somebody will take the balloons. I wish that I had $80 worth of balloon play money. What is that? Because she like, a refund was not even considered in her brain. She was just like, oh, you guys have already inflated them? Okay, let's just give them to somebody else and I hope somebody has a good day. Like, what?
Must be nice.
What?
Must be nice.
God. It was wild. So, and after by the time I left yesterday, those balloons still had not been picked up. So who knows? So that is that. The last thing that I have is that I am officially in the off season for festivals and markets and stuff. You
said that before.
Did I?
You did, and then you ended up doing a few more markets.
Well, I had an event that I had to do. So I have no more events planned. This is like, I have the Weaverville market today is the last day that I'm going to be vending anything. Like I'm going to put some of my stuff out on the table. And honestly, I'm wondering if I want to just not put out anything, but I think I am going to put out because I have a bunch of hats that no one has bought. I remember when I was going through that hat phase, I was making a bunch of beanies and stuff. Those beanies are not selling very well. Like everybody is buying the super long hats. And then a couple people have bought witch hats. The regular beanies, the ones that have printed stuff, like I sold a couple of skull beanies, so I want to make some more of those. But the ones that say AVL on them, no one is buying. And I'm like, solidarity? And I made one that says NPC on it, and everybody like looks at it and is like, oh, haha, NPC, so cute. And then no one has bought that one. And no one is buying the plain ones either. So I'm like, maybe beanie season is out? I don't know. Maybe. Probably,
because it feels like every time I look at something, fashion wise, it seems like people are still going for the bucket hats.
But no one bought any of the bucket hats.
Bucket hats when you had them, I know.
So what are the people in this town buying? Anyway, so today is the last day that I am like vending like market wise, and then after today, the next 2 weeks, we don't have the Weaverville market anyway for the holidays. And I'm not doing any more big markets or festivals until April. I did have last Saturday, I did an event. It was a corporate event. It was like a tech company. They were having their end of year like customer appreciation event. And they brought me in to do henna, and some of the ladies were so excited about that they are trying to hire me for next Monday to do a little girls get together to get some more henna. So we'll see how that goes. I have to make sure that my schedule lines up for it. Otherwise, they said otherwise we'll revisit this at the beginning of the year. And I'm like, okay. Because I told them they wanted to try to catch me to market. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm not doing any more markets until April. So they want to try. I'm like, you can hire me out for an event. I will still do that. But I'm not doing any more markets for you to catch me out until April. So they said either we'll do it on Monday or they'll revisit later on. But that event was swanky. It was at the embassy.
Except for the guy cat calling you on the way out.
Yes. Oh, not on the way out. It was on the way in, which is why I'm like, I'm gonna call my mommy so I get to the event. First of all, they said that there was going to be valet parking. There was no valet parking. I got emailed and told there's going to be valet parking, so prepare for that. So I'm prepared for valet parking. I've never done valet parking in my life. I don't know how this works. So I pull up and I just kind of sit in my car because I'm like, doesn't the valet like come to the car and then you give them the keys and you leave? And so I'm like, I don't know, and nothing happens for a hot minute. And so I hop out of my car, lock my door, go to the front desk, and I'm like, hey, I was trying to sort out. I was told there was going to be valet parking. They're like, yeah, we actually haven't had valet parking in like 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, where can I park? And they're like, you can go park over in the parking deck, and they won't give you a ticket because you're not a resident here. So you're not staying at the hotel, so they can't give you a ticket anyway. You'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. So I go to park in the parking deck, and I go in there and I park, and parking decks stress me out. But I parked in the parking deck, and then as I was walking back down to the hotel to go like into the event, there was a guy who was in his car who was like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And I'm like, eh. And then keep walking, and I'm like, okay, I don't like that. So, because I wasn't even looking like super super nice or anything. I fully had my hair up like it is right now. I did have on my makeup, but I was wearing, the tie-dye dress that I got from my friend, the black dress that has the green like leaf print at the bottom.
Yeah.
I was wearing that, some black leggings, and black shoes. Like, I was wearing my slippers. I was wearing my slippies. So, because I was like, I'm not about to be uncomfortable at this 4-hour event. So, stop. But I get into the event. They get me settled down. One of my friends is also there. One of my friends is, she's an oracle reader. And that's what I was saying, Ronald. Like, but I just do not engage in situations like that. I'm like, I'm not going to engage. I'm not dealing with that. But one of my friends is an like oracle and tarot reader. So she was there. They had me as a head artist, the oracle and tarot reader. They had a masseuse. They had an astrologer. I can't remember the exact like terminology that they use for her, but she does star things. They had her. They had a caricaturist. They had somebody outside doing there was like a photo booth situation. They had a cigar roller. They were just rolling cigars and stuff.
So they were just like having a full-on carnival.
Yes, but it was 1920s themed, and when I tell you the girls were dressed up. The girls were dressed up. There were like guys in pinstripe suits. There was one girl, she was gorgeous. It was like this Asian girl. She had her hair done up so nice. And then she was wearing a white gown, like white sequin gown all the way to the floor with a slit all the way up her thigh. And there was like fur around the edge of the slit. And she had on her like long gloves. She was gorgeous. And I was like, oh my God.
The kind of event that you wish you could have took pictures.
Yes, I did take a cheeky little video. I wonder if I could, because they started at first they were playing like the 1920s like music, and then they started playing just like the dance music for people to dance on the floor. Let me see if I can get this video up. Oh my goodness, because it's just me sitting there. Like I didn't film any of the people or anything, but I filmed me sitting there listening to the music. Yeah, it was like Gatsby, and then they were playing they played some Postmodern Jukebox, which I recognized immediately. They were playing some like Postmodern Jukebox stuff. It's like for people who don't know Postmodern Jukebox, they do like retro covers of current songs. Let me see. Present, share screen.
Postmodern Jukebox is like one of my favorites.
They were coming up here to perform as well. For anybody who didn't see in the Discord, I'm upset because a lot of people are coming up to Asheville to perform, and it's the worst time because they don't have any money. Postmodern Jukebox was also coming up here. I was curious.
Oh, bummer.
Let's see.
Last time Postmodern Jukebox came to Charlotte, I was thinking I wanted to go, but I was like,
Okay, let me pause the music.
Okay,
and then
we know what you look like, man.
It was just a bunch of white people breaking it down on the floor. It was so funny. Because this was a corporate event. And
they were confused by all the white people? Is that what this look is on your face?
It was, because it's a corporate event, and when I first got there, it felt very classy, and then like everybody got a couple drinks into them, and they were like,
and it looked like it probably looked like the stereotype of, Like when you watch TV shows, or at least you used to watch TV shows that were set in the, 60s and 70s, and they say office party, and then people get drunk at the office party and
Yes.
make out in the supply closet and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Nobody was
I've
that
worked in
drunk, but they
offices.
were like dance drunk. Yes.
I've worked in offices all my life. Apparently, I've worked in the wrong offices because our office parties were all ham and cheese biscuits and ambrosia salad. There's no getting drunk in the corner.
Well, this was
And
a tech company, so they had enough. Like everybody who showed up, you showed up, you sign up, you get your name badge. Everybody got 2 free drinks. They had like a buffet thing for people to get food at. They had enough money to pay my fee without blinking an eye, and then tipped me $50.
yeah,
And they hired like the cigar roller and
the
everybody.
drinks at the office parties around here are, would you like some Sprite or do you want some sweet tea?
Exactly. So it was fancy, it was swanky, it was nice. And those are the people that are trying to hire me for Monday. I'm in communication with my manager to figure out what my schedule is going to be so I can contact them and figure out how we're going to do that. But that was that.
For a second, when you said my manager, I'm like, ooh, you have management representing you for your services. How nice.
Who would that be? That's me.
And then I remembered who you are, and I'm like,
I'll have your people talk to my people. My people is me. I am my people. So sorry. But let me turn the music back on. But I think that's all of my life updates now. I think we're properly out of life updates.
Yeah, because the only life going on around here is Christmas, which did we discuss this last week already? I bought all my presents already.
Yes, because I also bought all of my presents.
And your sister and her partner were up here on Sunday, and they hadn't bought nary a present yet. And I'm like, I don't know how you're going to get them, how you're going to get them shipped on time. And B was like, well, maybe we'll just have to drive to everybody's house and deliver them. I'm like, we are spread out all over the state. What are you talking about? You're going to drive to everybody's house on Christmas?
Wild. Like driving to you guys, I think makes more sense, but driving out to us makes no sense.
Well, you're not going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
So
true.
You're going to be at our house.
So if they get them shipped to them and they bring it,
they know that. But I mean, I'm thinking more like they're in Greensboro, we're here, and then her people are in Durham.
So that's driving all over the place.
That's driving all over the creation.
I mean, if that's what they choose to do with their Christmas.
But then the next day she texted me and asked for your address. So I don't know. Maybe she found something that was shipping time and is going to ship it to you. So.
I mean, if it ships late, I'm not gonna be butthurt or anything.
Oh, speaking of which, your present should be arriving today, so it may be on your doorstep.
Okay, I will take a look at that because I've got Isaac's presents.
We've got his present.
We haven't opened anything yet. We've got a stack of stuff sitting in.
You got my present that said his first name and ho 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 is his middle name. Yes,
I was like, Christmas middle names what? And I saw it. I was like, ah.
I thought I was being creative there.
It was silly. I was going to do that for everybody's, but I did one like big Amazon order where like I put it all in one purchase and then sent everybody's like out to their own address, and it would have been such a hassle to try to change everybody's names to do that.
Yeah. Well, I did the big order for everybody that's here in this house. Usually I so that I don't have to wrap, I try to do the thing and look at the tracking number and stuff, so I know, okay, this is your present, don't open it, this is your present, but they all have my name on it. And I was like, you know what, I don't feel like doing that this year, so I just did the big bulk gifts for everybody that's in this house, and I opened the package, and then I got some gift bags and just dropped their stuff in the gift bags and kept stepping.
It looks like Ronald is ready to talk about yarn stuff.
So we can move on to yarn stuff.
Absolutely hating the reverse single crochet. I'm so sorry. That's like the worst part of the whole hat.
Ronald. You are not alone.
It's the worst part of the whole hat. That's why, like, when I was making more hats for the like while I was testing the pattern myself, I only made one that actually had the spiral. The rest of the ones that I made were plain because it's so much easier to just whip out that hat and finish it. Doing the back loop only takes just a little bit longer to go around the hat, and then doing the reverse single crochet, it looks so good. It takes forever.
I am fighting myself because I'm testing this pattern for you. So I'm like, I need to do the reverse single crochet. But honestly, I'm like, well, you know, Junie and Ronald are already doing it. I can just do regular single crochet.
I can just leave it.
I can just do regular single crochet on mine because I hate
Ronald,
single crochet too.
Yeah, it sucks. Ronald says I haven't figured out the best way to hold it. There's no like great way to hold it. I hold it the way that I said that video, where it's kind of folded in half so that the front loop is sticking up. I do that and just kind of scoot along and like have it. It's like the hat is just kind of crinkled, like going along the thing, because when you're making the original hat, you've got the top edge to kind of hold on to. When you're going back down the hat, there's no top edge to like hold on to. So I just keep folding it up.
I cannot. So I'm down to the last, speaking of hats, I'm down to the last. I ran out of yarn.
Oh yeah, you had to shorten your hat.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm on I finished row 77. This is all the yarn I have left, and I don't think this is going to go around one more time. I don't think this is enough to go around one more time. So I'm going to go ahead and skip down to row 80, and that's what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
So hopefully I have enough yarn. And what I'm going to do is this green yarn is going to be the brim. And
then that's pretty cute.
And then I'm going to just go straight from the brim and use the same green yarn for the spiral, and hopefully until I run out of yarn. But I don't know what I was doing with this yarn, because I thought this was, I can tell by the crinkleness that I had used.
It was pulled out of a product.
That I had frogged a project. I understand that. And this is almost a skein. You can kind of see that. But every time I start pulling it together, what are all these balls? What was I making? What was I doing?
Who knows?
Maybe it was a granny square, maybe? Not a granny square, but just like an Afghan square. Because I did have
I'm wondering why you even have that lime green, that electric green yarn, because I can't see you using that for anything.
First of all, green's my favorite color.
But not that electric green, is it?
I like this green. This green is pretty.
Oh, I always think of you as more of a foresty green.
No. And second of all, this is your yarn.
Oh.
This yarn is left from when you were in high school.
Ooh.
Remember when you briefly did a thing where you were making a baby blanket and you decided, oh no, I can't do this. But one of your teachers had given you her leftover Karen Simply Soft.
Yep.
This is left over from that bag.
I did not realize that.
Yep, this is left over from that bag. I still has it.
That yarn is so old.
This is all that's left of it. Yes, that was Ronald, 5 years ago, Ronald. That was 5 years ago.
I'm gonna add a new tag in our banners.
That was 5 years ago. But did you guys see the Yarnspirations 2024 year in review? Did you guys get that in your email?
I did not, because I don't get emails from Yarnspirations.
Oh, I've been getting emails from them all week showing me the different aspects of their year in review. And we talked about in Discord about the all-in-one, the Bernat blanket all-in-one they've got coming out. Huh?
Is Bernat and Red Heart aren't the same?
Bernat and Red Heart both got bought out by Yarnspirations.
Oh, okay, that's why they're able to do the same thing. Because I was like,
I think different? It used to be Coates and Clark, I think. But then they bought all these different, Lily Sugar and Cream and Peaches and Cream and Burnett, and they bought, and Red Heart. They bought all these different things, and then they renamed themselves Yarn Inspirations
Mm.
and put all these yarns under that umbrella. So, yeah. But so you guys haven't been getting the year in review?
Nope. Are you gonna pull something up?
I was gonna, but they have, if you go and it's mainly different patterns that they have. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up on this side and not make a mess.
Hopefully it won't break everything.
We'll try not to. But I can't remember what I was gonna say about it now. I put it on the list, but I can't remember what I was gonna say about it, other than, everybody is trying to get in on the Spotify Wrapped train.
Yes. Because Spotify Wrapped, I don't know. Everybody's doing it, but it doesn't have the same impact as Spotify Wrapped, because Spotify Wrapped is very like personal.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff that you listen to. So having like a Yarn Inspirations, like, this is what was popular this year. It's like, that's what was popular for everybody else, and we kind of saw that already. But like, you're not telling me anything about myself.
Yeah, I got the Duolingo thing where it tells you, how many minutes you did and this and that and the other. Oh, I know why I mentioned it, because there is a cardigan that if I had seen this, the first email they sent me was the patterns that have been favorites this year that people have been doing.
Mhm.
If I had seen this pattern, I would have made it. Oh, and it says, fun fact, the most loved shade of Super Saver, the most loved shade of yarn that they had this year was Super Saver Bitty Stripes Crayon Box.
Oh, that's the one we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was at most loved when it just came out a few weeks ago.
With enough yarn purchased to fill 174 boxes of crayons.
Wild.
But yeah, I mean, I like that yarn too. I think it's very pretty.
I like it. I haven't been able to buy any because they didn't have, I don't think they had any at Auntie Joanne's last few times that I went. I did not see it, but my Auntie Joanne's is also like restructuring their whole yarn aisle. So it's been chaos.
Yeah, I've been hearing the same thing on lots of different videos. People are talking about going to their Joann's in person and being like, is Joann's closing down? Things are getting like moved around, and I know this is hard to see because the sample is in white
on white,
against a white background, but this, I would have made this for vacation.
That is cute. That does look like something. Yeah.
To go over one of my spaghetti strap dresses, and I might make it for next year because I think it's really. Let's see if it shows up better this way.
Yeah, that's cute.
I think it's really cute. I mean, I know it's kind of basic, but I think I might go ahead and make that, and it's in linen. It's
Ronald's pointing out it has terrible reviews. Though. It's got 2.3 stars out of 4 reviews. That doesn't sound good.
Oh, I was trying not to pay attention to that, Ronald, because it looks cute. It looks cute. Let's see what these reviews say. Do they say anything, or? Well, see, this one says simple and pretty. The pattern stops making sense around the sleeve step.
Ooh.
Oh no. I don't need that. Pattern is poorly written with not enough information. I'll need to take a look at it though, because it is a free pattern. So yeah. I'll need to take a look at it, because after the whole debacle with the 6-day star blanket nonsense, now I take it with a grain of salt when people say the pattern's not clear, because I don't know how old the person is who wrote that. It may be
what kind of patterns they're looking at.
Yeah, it may be one of these young gals who doesn't like to read patterns and that's why it's not clear to them.
I feel like the young gals would
I
not be on
just-
the Yarn Inspirations website though.
That's true too. That's true too. I'll just have to look at it for myself. But I was trying to think. Do I have anything else
What is the
listed?
Joanne
They have
Big
like.
list? Oh, go ahead.
What'd you say now?
Oh, I was
they
moving
have
down
like
to the thing. Continue.
on the list.
Continue.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at?
What are you looking at?
Oh, there. Oh, I was just saying somebody had shown Joanne's Big Twist Christmas yarn.
Yes, that was what was next on the
It's
list.
very pretty, and I was like, I can't believe how much they managed to do with the basic Christmas colors of red, green, and white. They have so many different variations of the red, green, and white. Have you seen the Christmas value yarn?
I'm trying to pull it up.
So while you're pulling it up, Ronald has 4 flowers from the Flower Power, and he
Nice.
loves it. Yeah, I saw that you said in Discord, Ronald, that after the first flower, it just pretty much went smoothly. So you don't have to do as many adjustments. Okay. You hit the change perfectly every time. So it was more learning how to make the flower pattern and not having to adjust to make sure the colors hit right. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Because that's what I've heard from other people, is that since it's not just a standard granny square, you kind of have to look at the pattern and learn the pattern. It's not just a standard granny square. But once you do that first square, you understand how to do it, and then but you get fewer squares out of the Flower Power because they have that extra yarn for the transitions. So the skeins are the same weight as the other all-in-one, but you get fewer squares. I think you get 2 fewer squares. Yeah.
I'm clicking the things, but it is not changing.
Oh, 12. And I think the granny square is like 14, right? The granny square yarn is 14. It's not showing you the different colors?
No, I'm clicking the different things, but it's not changing.
Well, that's just weird.
What is going on?
I-
Because I want to look.
Because I'm going to see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, because it's just not. Are you changing now? Oh, it's changing
It's just
now. Okay, okay.
fascinating to me how many, like I said, how many colors they could get with just those, how many variations they could get with just those 3 colors.
I got it.
You got it?
Yes, it's changing now. So let's see.
Okay.
We've got, this is the, oh my goodness, Joanne. I love you. Please get out of my face. Okay, this is the Festive Fun. Very cute. Can we see it?
You got 15 squares from your, yeah, I can see it. The Festive Fun, I like that.
Ma'am, hush.
I like the Jingle Bell stripe because it has a little more green, and you know green's my favorite color.
I do also like the Jingle Bell stripe.
I like
This is
the
Juniper
shrub is all green, and that's pretty. Green and white.
It is.
That's pretty. So you could get that one you could get away with and not say it's Christmas.
Yeah.
You could buy it now because it says, you know, they've got it on sale for Christmas, but then you could save it for later.
The peppermint
And the red
ribbon
you
as
could
well.
almost save. The peppermint ribbon you could almost save because it's just red and white. And so you could
Hear me
buy
out?
it
It
now
kinda
while
looks
it's
like
on
bacon.
sale and save it for something else. Yeah.
It
Streaky
kinda-
bacon. Streaky bacon, yeah.
Get merry, let's mingle.
Let's get merry and mingle. I like that one too.
I don't know
I
how I
like
feel
all
about
of
this one,
them,
actually.
even though it's like the same. It's just the same 3 colors.
And this one is just merry mingle.
And that merry mingle makes me think of Christmas. That makes me think of like Christmas lights.
Yeah. This one. Ma'am. It's okay. This is Punch Bowl. Oh my goodness.
And Punch Bowl is even more Christmas lights.
It's okay though, actually. That people are out there living their lives. It's actually okay. It will be all right.
And then Yuletide is just another variation of the get merry.
Yeah, except it's a bit more muted, which I like.
Yeah.
So that is that.
So yeah, I think my favorites are the early ones.
Ooh,
like the Yuletide.
Big news! I sold my first bag. She paid me for the shipping and gave me a $10 tip. Good for you, Ronald.
Are you selling on Etsy or? I know you and Artemis have been talking about it, but
I feel like I've not been very helpful, and I'm so sorry. Because I do mostly market stuff. I don't do like individual customs and stuff. I ship all that information to Judy. But I think last we spoke,
I'm just fascinated. What made you?
Ooh.
Okay, so you're gonna open your Etsy store. So what made you decide that you wanted to sell crochet stuff? I mean, if I remember correctly, you hadn't crocheted in years when you started like hanging out with us online.
We're influencers.
We are not.
That's what happened. We are not influencers.
Let's not delude ourselves. We are not influencers. And you have totally jumped from. So like the Granny Square all-in-one just made you think, hey, this is something I could do? And watching a lot of Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. Kelsey, I feel like can make anybody feel like they could do, because she makes it feel so simple and so casual.
Oh no, see, I'm the opposite. I watch Kelsey and go, oh yeah, no. I cannot crochet as a business. No.
Every time I watch Kelsey, I'm like, I could start putting stuff on Etsy and then like make the sales and stuff. But I'm
glad she makes you feel inspired because you actually are trying to have a business. But me, I just look at it and it's interesting to watch in the background. But I'm like, oh my God, if I have to make that same hat again, I'm gonna scream.
Same. That's why I can't do what Kelsey does, because she does she takes the pictures and she also does a lot of social media posting, which is what you kind of have to do online sales. Whereas I show up at markets and I'm like, you're already here to buy stuff. So I'm giving you stuff to buy.
And you're very personable, talking to the people at your table and stuff like that. That one time that I went with you, everybody thinks that I am a talker. I'm a talker when you know me. When you know me, you can't shut me up. But you notice I barely talked to anybody when I went with you to that market that one time.
Well, which is okay because it's my table to talk to people.
But I could not sell things to people.
That's why I love days when Wayne can come to markets with me, because he also is very good at talking to people and like the small talk and stuff. And so the days when I have very busy markets, he does all the selling stuff off the table and like, oh yeah, this is this, but we have a little nickname for it and it's so cute and this and this and this, and like talking to people. And I just sit back there and I'm like, henna, 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 face, 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 face. And I'm like, I can't talk to you. You can't talk because I'm painting your face.
And this whole new world of doing the social media, the whole social media thing, and having to sell yourself and having to, and then I think about people buying something and then not being happy with it and giving complaints, and I'm like, nope.
That's what stresses me out. I'm so afraid of like bad reviews. Like if somebody orders something and then just for some reason doesn't like it, and I'm like, ugh. Also, social media is a pain in the butt. I like doing social media when it's just for me. Like when I was doing my TikTok videos and I'm just posting silly, goofy little videos and editing for fun. Like those are fun for me. Posting videos where I'm like, hey, I made a thing. You should buy it. Hey, I'm going to be at a place. You should come see me. I'm like,
Cool, Ronald.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's awesome. That's what me and Junie do. Is whenever Junie comes to help me with markets, then like she'll put extra stuff on the table to like help fill out the table, and then she helps sell stuff while I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, it's not for me. That's part of why I, because if you look back at the videos on this here channel, you will see that several years ago I started trying to, do videos by myself and show what I've been working on and stuff like that. But I could not do it with any regularity because it's taking me over a week to finish this hat.
To be fair, it's a long hat.
But still, it's like I do 2 or 3 rounds a night, and then it's like, okay, I'm done.
And it's your first time doing it. The first time I made that hat, it took me a good like 6 hours. The very first time, because I was like trying to figure it out and trying to make sure I'm getting the right places and stuff. It took me a good 6 hours. Now that I've done several of them, I can knock it out in like 4, 3, probably more than that with the reverse single crochet. That I feel for you guys as I feel for myself, because that reverse single crochet is a pain in the ass. It is what gives the hat the like biggest appeal and what makes people say, oh, that's so cool, that's so unique, that's awesome. It is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that I won't do the reverse crab stitch, but I probably will, because that crinkly look is what makes it look interesting.
It gives it its pop, because the plain hat also looks cute. Let's see, I did take some pictures of some people that bought, or I took a picture of one of the people that bought one of the long plain hats that I sewed. Let's see, here it is. And this person looks so happy. I'm just so happy that they look so happy. Let me share this. We don't need audio. Pull this in and pull this at the stage, and I will shrink us down here. But they look so happy.
They do look happy.
Yeah, that's one of the plain ones that I just used. It was a very like beigey, like striping yarn.
Yeah, I remember that yarn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, they do look very happy.
Oh, put us back. Okay. I do have a few other things to share before we get out of crafty thoughts. Remember
you do realize it is 12:07.
Yes, I rambled so much at the beginning of this, and I am so sorry. I need to leave by 12:30. Like, okay. I need to be out of here, out of this call by 12:30.
Okay.
But I remember the dog bookmarks that I was talking about, where they're like, she's like, hot glue it, and I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
So I finished making one. I made 2 because somebody bought them. One of the girlies at work bought 2 of them, one for her and one for her mom, because her mom also has dachshunds. And so I made 2.
So refresh my memory. Did she come to you and say, "Can you make this," or did you just?
She came to me. She because it's one of my coworkers, and she sent me a text message. She's like, "Hey, I found this on Pinterest. Do you think you can make it?" And the Pinterest linked to the person's like pattern. So I just went and I'm like, yeah, I can do it. The pattern is right there. So absolutely, I can do that. So she asked for 2. She asked for them to be a little different for each person's dog. I did not hot glue. I got my hot glue gun out, and then I heated it up and everything. And I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot in good faith do this. So I busted out my yarn needle and sewed all the pieces on.
I forget what video I was watching. I was watching some video of something. Somebody was reacting to somebody else's pattern or video or something. It feels like it was men in the video, and they were going on and on about hot glue. Who just has a hot glue gun lying around or whatever. And I'm like,
a lot of people.
I can't, the hot glue, why'd they put that in there? Who's got hot glue? I'm like, yeah, a lot of people do.
Like, if you are any sort of crafter, you probably either have a hot glue gun or have access to a hot glue gun.
I mean, I would have to dig to find mine, because it's been many a year since I used a hot glue gun, but I have owned one.
This is the bookmark. This is his butt. It's so long because it's a bookmark.
Oh, so cute.
So cute.
That is cute. So what did you have to sew?
So the head is separate from the body, so I had to sew that on.
Okay.
The ear is separate, so I had to sew that on. I had to embroider the eyes and stuff, and then the collar I had to sew. And it's definitely a right side, wrong side kind of thing, because this is the front side, this is the back side, and you can see where I did the stitching for this. And I used some fabric glue to just make sure that those ends weren't coming out, because I didn't feel like I weaved in so many ends, and I tried to weave them in over here, and it was just not happening. So I put fabric glue here to make sure that wasn't coming out, and I put a little fabric glue on the collar to make sure that wasn't coming out. But
yeah, that doesn't look like a thing that you would hot glue the pieces together.
Yeah, she said hot glue the head to the body. She said hot glue the collar on. She said hot glue the ear. And I'm like,
no,
girly,
I would not have done that.
I couldn't. And I was prepared to, because I was like, I'm only charging her $5 for these. Let me just, and I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot.
It just looks like it would look better sewn on.
And here is the second one. Let me hold it. It's got a little bow.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Cute. Did she tell you what she wanted you to do to differentiate the dogs, or did she just tell you that one's a girl dog and one's a boy dog? Or
she said do a red collar on one of them and do a girly colored bow on the other one. So I just chose pink because I had a nice, like, bright, because it's getting kind of washed out in the camera. I wonder if I can. Oh God, this is a bit more true to life though.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, so I made those guys, and then I had one more thing. I got, oh my goodness. Oh, I almost forgot to show these off. Wayne gave me one of my Christmas presents early, and I wanted to show them off.
Christmas presents early? We don't allow that.
He gave me two of my Christmas presents early. One of them is back here. I have an electric blanket back here that keeps falling. It's keeping my back warm. I have an electric blanket, and then I have a bigger electric blanket on my lap that another friend gifted me. But he was at a market with a friend and got me these cow pictures because I love the Highland cows. They're so cute. Look, he's just having a bath. It's so cute. And then this one, I need to get hooks so I can hang them up.
Oh, that's cute.
He's just jamming.
That's cute.
I love them so much. I need to get some hooks so I can hang them up. So they've been like propped up on my table in the living room. But
Ari said he sent you something crafty.
What are you sending me, sir?
So is that all the crafty things you have to show?
Ari is sending me once again the crochet pattern for a keyblade.
Oh, good Lord.
It's huge is the thing. It's huge. It's not just like, oh, it's a little, because it's meant to be a sword. So it's a full length, like in the picture, she is holding it over her shoulder, and it's like here over her shoulder. It's huge. Let me pull it up. Since Ari is actually in the chat today, let me pull it up. Where's my messenger? I don't even have to pull it up on messenger because I've looked up this pattern before. Yeah, it's huge. It's the length of the hat, essentially. The hat that you are making. Okay.
Which I'm almost done with. I pulled the pattern up and everything because I thought I would be working on it, and then I pulled this yarn out and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have just worked on my other project. Which I'm at this time of the year, while you're pulling that up, I'm at this time of the year where I'm like, I think I mentioned the same thing last week of I don't know what I want to work on. After I finish working on, finish making your hat, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I've toyed with the idea of kind of just like being selfish and making stuff for myself. Because all the things that I have, other than the blankets that I'm supposed to be making for your sisters, nobody is really asking me for these things. I have put it upon myself to make these things, so people are not sitting out there waiting for me to give them these things. So I can put all this stuff to the side, these half-finished whips to the side, and just make some stuff for myself.
I'm just pulling it up in a different window because it's on Ravelry.
Good Lord,
So
no, that is too much. What are you talking about, Ronald?
This
Are you talking about the
Keyblade.
picture?
Yes, I just pulled it up in Ravelry because it's on Ravelry. I'm pretty sure it's in my save patterns too. Can you see it?
See, I'm not seeing anything but a black screen.
There we go.
Oh my Lord, no!
This is what this boy has been asking me to make for years. 4 years, and I'm like,
and what are you gonna do with that, Ari?
He's just gonna have it in his house and look cute, but like, look cute at what cost? Because I promise you, that right there is gonna be a couple $100.
That is too much yarn.
It's so much yarn and stuffing, and he's gonna cosplay. He is like Chloe. Kingdom Hearts is his absolute favorite, like, franchise. So like, I understand why he wants it. If you've ever been to his house, he's got Kingdom Hearts stuff everywhere. It is like, it's in his username of everything. It is like it's his thing. If you know one thing about Ari, it's Kingdom Hearts. But it's gonna take so long, so much stuffing. I am gonna have to buy some more yellow.
Ronald says you'll need your whole outfit to be crocheted to go with it.
Which that is not something your girl's gonna do.
Ari sorry. Ari seems to think it is.
He thinks he's gonna slide in with the Keyblade and then be like, well, now that I've got the Keyblade, can you just make this? Well, now that you made these two things, can you just make this? Because like, you already made the Keyblade, you already made the, I know what he's doing, which is why I've got such a firm no on the Keyblade. You know what I can do? Give a man a fish, give a man a Keyblade, he'll wear it to cosplay. Teach a man to crochet, he can make his own Keyblade, now I don't have to do it.
Okay, you just butchered that saying.
But I do have other things to show. Let me get out of that. And I got a sketchbook. I needed somewhere to put my pens. And so I made a little thing.
Oh, cute.
Cute little pen holder.
Cute to attach to your, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's got all my pens, and I've been doing some doodling, so I might as well open this up as well. I'm trying to do more like everyday doodling. It's not working out because I already missed yesterday, but I have a plan that I will doodle every day if I remember.
Content.
I have a plan that I will doodle every day if I remember, and if I don't remember, I have like specific things that I will work on as makeup work. So it'll be like one little doodle of makeup work, and then I can doodle for the day. So we'll see. I'm just trying to, especially because right now is the off season, so I'm not going to be doing very much henna. And I realized that when I was doing that party the other day, I was like, oh, I am like already feeling out of practice because I have not hennaed in so long. Luckily I have built into my brain like set designs that I can like always whip out right away immediately if I like need to do a henna right now. But we were like, as we were getting to the end of the party, because I like, especially like the party was not that big, and so especially when a party is not like enormous, like it's not like a big festival where everybody's not gonna run into each other, I don't like to repeat designs because I don't want two girlies looking at each other like, oh, we got matchy, what? So I like try not to repeat the designs, but by the time we got to the end of that party, I was already kind of getting to the edge of where I was like comfortable doing designs because I just hadn't practiced in a while. So I did some doodling. Where are we? Okay.
Lovely.
Lovely. And then the next day I did some like Zentangle-y kind of doodles.
I still have not used that Zentangle book that I asked for Christmas. I don't know how many years ago.
Now would be the time to break it out.
I know. I think maybe that's what I should devote January to. Ooh, somebody is up fixing a roof. Oh no, they're on the roof. Oh, I can't look at that. That makes my stomach hurt.
Don't look. But that is what I have done. I did. I made the little thing for my book. I made the bookmarks, and I also am the same boat as you as of I don't have any markets until April, so I should be working on building up stock and stuff right now. But also now would be a great time to work on all those projects that I can't work on during the season because I need to have stock on my table, and I end up not really doing anything.
Yeah, I lost my tape measure, and I thought I had a
Ooh,
uh
that's why
um.
you just mark it out on your table like I did.
Well, I don't always work at my table. I normally work in my bed, and I thought I had a
This is 1 foot.
ruler in here somewhere, and I cannot find it.
This is
I'll
1 foot.
have to.
Does this help?
That does not help,
Are you
but
sure?
but I got to a point after working on your hat. There's not your pattern is clear, by the way.
Thank you.
So
I am going to add a couple things after conversations with Ronald and seeing, because I'm sure Ronald is not the only visual learner in the universe. So after these conversations with Ronald, I am going to add probably a couple pictures and at least one video on the crab stitch. I feel like front post, back post. I
mhm,
feel like the girlies can figure it out because I think Ronald mostly got it figured out. But the front post,
mhm.
but the crab stitch, I will try to get a more clear video and just do like an unlisted YouTube video with a link.
But after I got to the point right around the time I hit row 70 or so, I got to the point where it's like I cannot crochet anymore. I cannot. And that's part of why I do knit and crochet,
Mm-hmm.
because I get to a point where my hands don't like that motion anymore, and
Yeah.
I want to do a different motion. So I started a thing, because when I pulled out this bag with what was left of my Karen Simply Soft, I realized I also had thrown in this bag some yarn from that other hat that I made, that I did not realize I still had this yarn. I thought I had used up all this yarn on that hat that I had made for your cousin,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently I have almost a full ball of it. I think I only
Ooh.
used like, it was like 81 yards, and I think I only used like maybe 5 yards of it. So this is a number 6.
That's chunky.
Yeah, this is a number 6 soup. It's called super bulky, number 6.
Also, Ronald, don't give her any ideas.
Whatever. This is but so I am
Ooh.
knitting with my giant
So chunky.
needles
Yes, Ronald, she bulky.
that I never use. My giant needles that I never use. I am making myself a little bag
Oh,
for
cute.
for my for my phone,
Cute.
so that
See,
I can put it over.
you were talking about how you want a phone bag for when you're like going up and down the stairs because you don't have the balance.
Yes. Yes.
I was making those water bottle holders, and one of my friends at the market, who is like around your age, I jokingly call her mom at market because she's my market mom.
And you're not allowed to have another mom. I'm the only one.
But I can't shout mom at you when you're not at market. Ronald. But she was also saying that she would like to have something a similar size to put her phone in when she's like working on the farm and stuff. And I'm like, I thought the girlies were not using cell phone holders anymore.
The girlies probably aren't using cell phone holders, but you know what? Old girlies like me, or I should say old gals, because I'm too old to be a girly. Old gals like me who have a cane in one hand, it might be nice to have something else to hold my phone. And although I don't use the cane around the house, but I just need the phone holder around the house. I probably won't use it when I go out. I just need it around the house because I don't have pockets in most of my clothes. Like this dress that I'm wearing right now, this house dress, which is one of my favorite house dresses, very comfortable, no pockets.
No pockets.
No pockets. And this phone is bigger than my other phone, so it's not as easy to like hold this phone and hold my cup in my hand at the same time.
I was also thinking about a phone holder the other day because I like, usually if I'm going out anywhere, if I am not at my house and my phone can sit on my table, then I have my bag with me. But recently I've stopped carrying just a regular purse and I'm just carrying my project bag around everywhere.
Is that your phone binging?
That is my phone. It's probably, I bet you anything, it's Arialdis. Stop messaging me. No, you're good. I'm just gonna turn the volume down.
But I figured this was a good because I have no other use for this bulky yarn, and I happened to find a pattern that calls for like 35. I don't know exactly how much yarn. I know this started out as 81. I don't
Mhm.
know exactly how much I used, but this was almost full
Mhm.
when I picked it up before I started this. So I figure I only used about 5 yards of this. So I know there's at least 31 yards that I can
Yeah,
finish
to
this.
knock that out.
So hopefully
Nice.
that will get this used up. And then it won't be, because I was going to use some lamb's pride wool that I have. I
Ooh.
have like 4 skeins of lamb's pride wool that a former coworker gave me because she took a she was taking art classes at school, and one of her art classes they had to do a fiber art module, and
Mhm.
so they were learning how to knit. And so of course she went out and bought the most expensive whatever, and I'm like, please just go to, but
Go get
no,
some
she
acrylic.
wants she go get some acrylic somewhere. But I think either her teacher said that she needed to get natural fibers or something. So she ended up going to the yarn store, and I went with her, and blah blah blah. She picked
Mhm.
out a yarn that I had used before, although I hardly ever, but it was brown sheep. And so she made whatever she made, but she bought like every color. She had bought one ball of every color they had, and then she made whatever she made for her project, and then she still had all these balls left. So
Yeah,
she ended up giving me like 6, 6 balls, 6 skeins of bulky, and I don't use wool.
because
And I could have
Papa
found
cannot touch wool.
and I could have found a use for it if they were all the same color, but they were not.
Yep. I mean, you
So
can
I
make
have
something scrappy.
So I have all these things. I have 4 balls left, and they're all different colors. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, and it's not even colors that coordinate with each other. So it's like, ugh. So I was going to use some of that to make a bag, but really I don't need a big
A huge
bag.
bag, yeah.
So using up this ball is perfect. But other than that,
Um,
that's all the crafty stuff I've got
and just like
going.
that, it is pretty much time to go. Before we leave, my last crafty sidebar is YouTube is they just need to stop recommending me stuff because I got recommended a video on dyeing acrylic yarn, and using sock blanks to dye yarn to make like
Oh, good
self-striping
lord.
yarn and stuff. And I'm like,
Oh,
but I
lord.
could do
I have
it.
not heard the phrase sock blanks in a minute.
I had never
Cause
heard
I
it
don't
until
watch knit. I don't watch knitters anymore. When I used to watch knitters all the time, I used to hear stuff about hand dyeing wool and sock blanks and wool coming in hanks that cost $20 a hank and all this other
But this
kind of
girly
stuff.
pop was dyeing acrylic yarn. She was doing tests to dye acrylic yarn.
Good lord.
I could buy
You
some
finished
white
the
acrylic
goblin,
yarn.
Junie. Good for
Post it in the
you.
Discord.
Good for you.
Post in the Discord. I want to see him.
Good
But
for you.
so maybe during this off season,
Well,
I will pick up a new craft.
no, you're not allowed to do that. But thank you for coming to hang with us. I hope, since this is our last, because next Wednesday is
It's
Christmas.
Christmas.
Next Wednesday is Christmas, so we won't be here. So we hope that you guys have a happy holiday, a um felices fiestas. Um
Joyeux Noel.
yes, all the
All the
things.
languages.
We hope you enjoy all the things. We thank you for joining us. You'll see us after in the new year, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna go do New Year's Day because I don't have anything else to do that day.
I don't have anything else to do New Year's Day. If you feel like hopping over to Twitch, we should be on Twitch on Friday,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We'll be on Twitch this Friday. So,
Playing some more
well,
thirsty
I was
shooters.
trying not, Ari, I was trying not to be basic and say Feliz Navidad. That's why I said Felices Fiestas. Yes, we will be here this Friday, Ronald. And we will be here the Friday after Christmas, right?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
So we just won't be here on Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is Wednesday.
Maybe we'll post a cheeky little YouTube short.
I don't know
us
how to
hanging
make
out in the house.
YouTube. I don't know how to make YouTube
I'll figure it out.
shorts.
I'll figure it out.
Yes, you're the young one. You can figure all this stuff out. I'm the old lady. I'm the talent. I just show up.
I'll be in my trailer. Let me know when you need me.
All right. Happy holidays, y'all. See you Friday on Twitch if you care to. Otherwise, enjoy yourself. Peace out.
Later, nerds. End the stream.